Okay, so it's going live now. So let's say we'll start saying the people and how they're coming in, but we will first try to understand how the news are going to be done. So I'm doing it for the first time, so I appreciate if you can a little understand and try to communicate. I would really love to see how are your going to be feedbacks on this one, because it's one of the most important things for us is to bring value to you. And this week what we are trying to do is try to see if we can really bring benefit to you, really can bring advantage, and by bringing all the news rather than you go over there and you try to look at the news all yourself. And with the BIM news here, you can do it directly. So I will check if in the LinkedIn and everywhere it's being published, because we do have the event live now. So just seeing if it's being published. Doing things live is a little difficult. So let's see, there is no one yet. Okay. All right. So checking. And okay, so seeing if it is are being public now. All right, so okay, so I managed to publish it. I wasn't able to publish it, but now I see that I'm managed to publish it. YouTube, we do have 2 viewers right now. Okay, all right, so we have 5 viewers coming in. Hello everyone, so it's nice to see you all. And maybe you can just mention where you're from. In the meantime, we're just getting started with it, so I just managed to publish it live. So I will let a few more people to join. In a few minutes we will be able to go through the presentation. Okay, I see from the Revit Pure. Hi there. Okay, so we will have the agenda of today is going to be that BIM news that you really are not aware. Maybe you are aware of some BIM news, or it's not necessarily BIM news. It's also AEC industry related stuff. There are mega projects, interesting beds, what's going on with the industry. Most of the time we are so busy with our agenda and our work. So the idea is that how we can actually discuss few topics together. And I already collected a bunch of news that are interesting. And every week I will try to keep up this episodes basically, where I will be sharing with you, navigating through the BIM news. So we are going to start with the first one in a second. So I will show you my screen, and I have like kind of a presentation format. So I will just change it to the presentation format. In the meantime, if you can just say where are you from and who you are, that would be amazing. So I tend to understand a little bit more who is watching, to make the content more relative to the people who are watching. So basically I'm switching it now. So to BIM, to the presentation format, you will still see me on the upper right corner, and we will have few obviously interesting news sections going on. And one of them is going to be like, there are about, I think about over 20 of them. So there will be about like Graphisoft, Autodesk, but there are like some kind of like projects delivered and interesting ones, and some robots, some machines, what has been developed in the industry, because everyone is talking about news about Corona or some bad news all the time. But let's discuss a little how the industry is moving forward and what do we really have. So that's really nice to see also people from Kuwait. That's great. So okay, that's really lovely. And what we are going to do now, the first news is going to be about Graphisoft. And the Graphisoft is really interesting because they are trying to develop their platform all the time. And we tend to be more engaged now with ArchiCAD as well. and they are trying to bring a platform like into the into ArchiCAD and Graphisoft. I use a Param Tech, which is a kind of a node tech. So if I go to their ArchiCAD area and how this feature really works, it's similar to Dynamo in a sense. So where you have multiple nodes where you connect stuff and you can build geometries, and it will take ArchiCAD, I think, to the next level, because it was really missing in ArchiCAD. And the idea is that they need to take this also to the next level, doing documentation like similar to Dynamo. They can make it open source to make already nodes already available for the people, so more and more people can engage with it. The next one will be about digital twins. This is an interesting one, asking for a funding over 10 years. I think also it is a really good idea to have this kind of fundings and this kind of engagements, because they were also mentioning there are some fundings to be available for innovative companies who want to engage technology, and they can demonstrate the learned lessons, how they did it, and what things to be, like how to like failures, basically, where they failed mostly. This will be a really interesting lesson for the entire industry, so they can see exactly how to use it, which will bring benefit in the long run. This kind of funding is, I think, really important for the industry, and we need to always seek for it. So if we keep up with these BIM news, if something comes up like this opportunity, you'll be able to know that, because I'm all the time trying to search for all the latest information and make it available for you. So the next one is going to be about the global BIM network that was just launched. Actually, this is also interesting one. We're missing a good network where multiple professionals all around the industry can engage. This is really missing, and this was a good approach, I think. However, they're more looking forward to public sector. I think it wouldn't matter. It would be good to see also private sector into that. And where I took a look at their website, you can see a few bugs here and then. For certain functions doesn't function yet properly. You cannot open those up, but you can definitely sign up and use the main function, which is the communication and keeping it up with the community, right? So that is the main thing over there. It's great. So there's some from Quebec City. That's really good. So Revit Pure, or a Briscat reseller. Okay, Darren Rudd. From Briscad, from California. That's lovely, lovely, lovely. So all around the world. So from Kuwait, from Middle East to all the way to the North America. Great. And the next topic will be, I don't know, most of you are not students, so if it's really interesting, but it's great to encourage more and more festivals and like information sharing and some seminars for the students, because we really need more resources in the industry, and especially the people who are studying at this point, or like just graduating or just graduated. They really need to understand that the technology is we need it right now. It's not even the future. So these kind of engagements are really good, I think, initiation, and I'm really appreciating that the Chartered Institute of Building, they're really taking this into serious and doing some festivals like this. So if there are any students, you can take a look at this from their website, and it is on the 7th and 8th of April. The next one is going to be from the Belfort Betty develops initiative, innovative carbon calculation tool. That's actually an interesting one, because I saw that they can automatically link it with the BIM data. This will be really interesting. So how you can have multitude of now software that can be easily linked to the BIM products that we are using, and it doesn't complicate the workflow. It doesn't make you to learn many other tools. It is like more of with a great interface. You can just easily adapt to it and really link your data. That will be awesome. This kind of tools, I love this kind of approaches, and I think we need the industry to be pushed forward. And obviously, I don't know, from the price point of view, it will be great to have this kind of tools available for free as well. I know that it is also, they need to make income, these vendors, but still it will be great to have some kind of a free available for the public, so they can test and they can get more detailed like feedback and how to improve the product. Because most of the vendors tend to don't give a lot of a free approach to their BIM tools, which I think is missing in our industry, and it needs to change. So another thing over here is interesting, because now we started to have some kind of COVID approach, how we can do like multitude of different designs and like architecture and work, where we, instead of rather than like basically saying COVID and we cannot meet outside, we're trying to build spaces where people can engage and still do these kind of activities. And I know that obviously I didn't include in today's video, but today's session, but there are also some tools now, automations applicable with the BIM, where you can analyze COVID and the possibilities of influence, and how you can lay it out so it can be COVID proof in it. If I go to the next one, it will be about ship tunnel. And I think this is a very interesting one as well. This is the first, maybe, or one of the longest ones, I would say. I think it's first attempt it will be like a tunnel. The thing is that it feels very difficult in our current BIM softwares to make this kind of project. So I don't know exactly what their approach will be to design it, and what kind of BIM they will use in order to really achieve this. But it is really nice to seeing that more and more complicated projects coming on board, and we cannot work on these projects anymore with the traditional means. There is no way to do that. And we really need to see how vendors will come up with solutions. And actually, I have few news coming in a sec, like in basically in 15 to 20 minutes, where you can see vendors are actually acquiring other companies that develop, other vendors that develop certain software, for example, specific to their niche, and they acquire it to implement into their own BIM systems, which we will see in a few minutes. So the next one is also very interesting. This will be the first railway that is actually arch, which is the tallest rail bridge ever going to be built. We have a COVID situation going on. Yes, but at the same time, it's really great to see that we are having lots of interesting projects coming up. Still, life is going on, world is moving, so we need to still. And I think the industry actually changing now rapidly to the technology because of this COVID, because of all the issues it brought to the industry. So this is, on one side, is very bad for the health and people, but on the other side, it helped the industry to move forward. So if I go to the next one. This is a very interesting one. So we know that Nemetschek, I always misspell this, Nemetschek company, German-based company, holding actually, they own the Allplan, they own the Graphisoft, so they own ArchiCAD basically. For the first time I see that direct integration with Revit. So this was really interesting. Rather than fighting now, I think they're starting to understand that they can collaborate between themselves rather than complicating things. Obviously, there is nothing wrong in IFC workflow as well, or OpenBIM, but taking the direct native formats is very useful and very easy approach as well, very beneficial approach, because there are some software, like there are certain connections that are unique to the software. So if there is a better resolution by taking direct formats, this will really improve the workflow a lot. So I really congratulate Nemetschek by taking and making it available for another vendor's software to be like format to be integrated into their software. So the next one is interesting one. Autodesk Takeoff. I remember that Autodesk had another software before called Autodesk Quantity Takeoff. They tend to merge it with Navisworks years ago, and then they didn't have any more of that software. Now they tend to go back to the Autodesk Takeoff pre-construction software. So I think this more focuses on the pre-construction and is directly integrated within the BIM Collaborate Pro. If you don't know that, there's maybe you weren't aware or you didn't heard of that. BIM 360 Design changed its name, so it's rebranded. Basically, before that, it was collaboration for Revit. Then they merged with the BIM 360 and collaboration with Revit, and it became like BIM 360 series. There were many software, and it became like the software was BIM 360 Design. Now they again rebranded it, and I really loved this as a name, because BIM 360 products, there were a lot of products, and it was very difficult for the industry to explain what each product does, and there are a lot of similarity in the names. So this time we have BIM Collaborate, and the Pro version is actually BIM 360 Design. So they're trying to integrate more and more software products that are available on the cloud, and this is lovely, really. So more people can engage and can extract data directly from their browser without with no need to install software. So the next one will be a mobile scanning device. So this is a really interesting one, because we tend to have like bigger components for scanning, and having some components for your pocket are a little bit larger, like about your wallet size. Maybe slightly larger than a wallet, but the idea is that it's very mobile, so you can actually scan certain small things. If you are concerned, like you are having, for example, a renovation project, maybe the house is not that relatively complicated and you have few beds where there are a lot of details. So rather than having it very expensive approach and scanning the whole building and modeling and so forth, it will be great to have this kind of easy scanners that you can scan few things and then you can implement into your models for affordable cost. That will be, I think, a next level for renovation projects. So the next one will be about a link between Germany and Denmark. I think this was between Germany and Denmark, if I'm not mistaken. So this was where they want to make a tunnel where they can also make it for road and for electrical highway. So this will be an interesting project, and like from the cost size, it is 7.5 billion. So it's going to be huge project. And they're already working on the concepts, I think, and I'm not aware yet if it's 100% awarded or they're going forward, but I know that they are doing designs, all other stuff. It will be lovely to see what kind of approaches and what kind of like BIM collaboration ideas they have in mind for such a large scale and complex project. The next one will be the first zero carbon skyscraper in Birmingham. So this is also an interesting one because we can really understand and see the digital twin here now. So when we have zero carbon buildings, we can, if we have the model that we generated in BIM, and then we are evaluating this building in real life, seeing how it's really performing, then that will be really good for redesigning. I mean, when I say redesigning, like in the next project, it becomes like a loop. You close the loop. So when we do this kind of information, when we extract this kind of information, we should be able to not keep it as a data only, but use it. So this is a great approach. I think we really needed zero carbon developments a lot. And I think Corona as well helped somewhat carbon reduction in the world because of all the vehicles and all these, like the industry, certain industries stopped for a couple of months, and maybe some industries reduced the carbon because of the demand. Somewhat it was beneficial to the world overall. Certain things have been improving, but we need to do it in our built environment. We need to do every single building, treat it like it is kind of a defect or it's like damaging our environment. And if we think and treat projects like this, I think we will build a better world, and BIM will be the leader of that. So the next one is Bentley Systems. They acquired a company called Second for $1 billion. And that company is more focusing and specialized, which in the beginning of this episode, I was telling you that we will have few information about how companies are acquiring smaller companies, niche companies that will be able to bring the specialization of that software into the BIM environment. And I think Bentley Systems, that's what they are doing. And they are acquiring this company where they can have geological and geophysical modeling analysis data, or I would say software. They are trying to extract all the information from it or the benefits of it and try to put into their existing system, which will be amazing if they can do it effectively, because we are really lacking this kind of good systems for geological. Like, we have a lot of projects coming up. You just saw that there is a 7.5 billion laying on the connection. There's another project for the Norway for tunnel, and there are lots of other projects coming in the coming years. And these kind of developments I think will make the vendors to the next level, and maybe even they will be able to penetrate to the market more effectively. So market is not going to be so dominant. There will be a bunch of other vendors where they're leading and constantly developing, because when there's a challenge between other vendors, it means that the softwares will be developed more and more, so there will be more input, and this will benefit us in the end of the day, the users, right? So the industries. We will be able to get all the advantages. So the competition should be all the time up. The next one is ICAS targets. This is healthcare market. So I think this is ICAS is a software where they are trying to like focus on the healthcare market, like hospitals or other clinics or other stuff, where I love this thing. So when they said developing design meets the needs, so customer needs. So we really need software products in BIM world that we deliver demand and we monitor that demand, the need. Because even the ISO 19650 were saying that we need level of information needs. So we need to define the information. The client needs to define the information from the beginning. So we just don't go blindly and developing models that are very much overdeveloped or underdeveloped models. So we do it for the right purpose, right? So it's a purpose-driven approach. And this is lovely because, for example, in this case, if we have this kind of software products where specialized, for example, in this case, they are specializing in the healthcare, and if it can really integrate with the BIM and IFC, like open BIM formats, where we can put the demands on all the demands that we need for particular, and it's easy to use, because then in that case, asset managers, all the MDs, and like the leads of the project, which they don't have much technical skills, they can really go and put the demands in as they go on the process, and they can monitor against the actual design if they're really matching. And I think there's another good software on that, which I did a video before, BIM Spot. I haven't been using it since I made the video, so I don't know. I know that they are constantly trying to improve it. But we need more software products like that are specialized, and it's very easy to use with no BIM or technical need, basically. So if they don't need these kind of skills, they can really jump into software and really able to use, and we really need that. Because explaining BIM to the people that don't know BIM or they don't know the industry, extremely difficult. I mean, if you tried it ever, you know what I mean. So that is why we really needed the software products to be very easy to use, so intuitive, and so they can engage more. The next one is going to be about Dalux. They have a free BIM viewer. If you don't know it, I would recommend you to check it. It's really obviously this video is not like this episode is not sponsored in any way, but I would definitely suggest you to check that viewer. They upgraded it. They added enabled a commenting area where you can now comment. And I'm really wondering if they can export the BCF version. And yes, I think they can. Yes, that will be really great. So they can take BCF information and extract based on their comments, and hopefully they can actually export. I don't want to mislead you. If they can export, that will be amazing. So I would definitely recommend you to check that viewer and install it and to test. And I think we need to encourage like more. Really, I mean, it's free. So that's really important for the industry, because we cannot pay thousands all the time for software products, and it might be very productive software device or can help us a lot, but economically, I don't know how much feasible it will be for small scale companies. So we need to think small scale companies or all these entrepreneurs that they can also, or even the clients, just to view the model, why they should pay the entire software product just because they're not going to use, they're just going to view information. That is really nice approach. Next one is going to be this. The reason that I put this article here in today's episode is that I love the idea how they are trying to put gaming companies merging with the BIM and engineering and AEC industry needs. This is lovely because they actually got the Epic Games and they hired the Epic Games in order to come up with certain 3D data delivery platform where they can bring more advantage to the industry. So gaming industry has a different approach than AEC industry. We tend to think more functions. We tend to think more the results driven, I would say. But gaming approach is more intuitive, right? So they want to make users comfortable. They want users to love the software. Every game, like if you're especially played, I mean, maybe you're not playing right now, but if you play the game, the reason you play it, you love it, right? So you love how it, maybe the graphics, you love the functions, you love what you can do, and you love competition and so forth. So this is a good approach, because if the gaming industry helps the BIM industry, it will be easier for the entire industry, like non-technical people, or maybe people that are not available with, they don't know a lot about BIM, or with technical skills, or with the soft skills. So this will be great, because that way they will understand things much easier way. I think there are a few approaches now in the recent years that have been developing for 4D and 5D in the game environment that is really beneficial. And even we have a video. If you go in the Integrated BIM YouTube channel, you will see that 4D and 5D video as well. So first of its kind Starbucks built in 6 days. I put it over here. Obviously, we have people watching from Canada, so this might be, they might already know this kind of this article, but I didn't manage to find information how and what made them to achieve this result in 6 days and with 0 construction waste. So they didn't really mention a lot here, but this is really interesting. They managed to get things done and get certified within 6 days. So a certification period might have taken longer, but the actual project is ready within 6 days. All right, so the next one is going to be about 3D printing of the houses. There are a lot of the next few articles and news going to be about that. So how the robots and technology, the technical way, is actually constructing the building. So we will see few robotish things in a few seconds, where you can see how they are actually taking the information and working instead of the people. So the labor wise, I think this will be very beneficial in the coming 5 years. It will be more and more used in the industry. So like 3D printing and getting really the homes at the quality that we are looking for is an amazing approach. So the next one is going to be, actually I might check the robots. Yeah, this is one of them. This is the brick, a robot that can lay 1,000 bricks in an hour. That's amazing, you know. And if they have the BIM model and BIM data available for them, all the information they need, they will not have any mistakes, because if the model is constructed well and with the right information for the robot to take it on, the robot will just move on at the end, the evenings, or the whole day, all day long. So this is really important development for the industry. And there was another one where it was, this one. So automated drone ties rebar. So this one is just a different approach. Rather than having, like laying bricks, this time this just automatically ties rebars and the drone way and just going around. So I'm really happy to see this kind of innovation going in the industry, because this means that in order for this robot to perform, we need better data. To have a better data, we need BIM movement. So people will not have no reason but go BIM direction. So this kind of technology really enables that. All right, so this is an interesting one from the digital twin side, just because the aim is not to make it easier, save costs, save time, but actually their focus is health and safety. What do I mean by that? I didn't know that. I mean, globally, at least 60,000 people and millions are injured every year. So this is a huge number, and millions injured. So this is a huge number. So if we have this kind of software that then tends to analyze and give us a safer and more efficient way of construction in a new research format that focuses on health and safety, I think we really need to pay attention to that, because we are maybe designers or managers. We are not looking from the this point of view, but I think this is developed by, I just saw it now, Aarhus University. So it is in Denmark. This is being developed. That's very interesting. So the next one is this one was okay. So this was like, yeah, they were building a hotel in space. So I'm really like, now we are not talking about only in the, which we are not barely managing to make the project with BIM. And I think we need some kind of more, I don't know. I mean, like this, what kind of tools they will use. Most probably they will go traditional methods, specialized software. I mean, and how they will achieve it is really interesting. And this kind of, when we see this kind of article news, I tend to not believe that much, but things are moving in the world. So I think they might actually pick up, because there's another one which is really interesting. I will show you in a second. It's really interesting. It will be about underground in water. So, but we will come in a second to that. So there is another 3D printed apartment on 3 floors, began a cobot printer. So this is another printed building. It's really moving on, and it's the first kind in Germany. And I think they are making now examples, especially because of the COVID now, and like people, not a lot of people can come next to each other. So I think this kind of technologies will pick up, and they will more lay on the technologies. I'm just afraid that we don't become, obviously I don't want to be so philosophical over here as a theoretical, I would say, but we don't become a part of a bigger machine. So we still have to keep our human aspect on those developments. So this is an interesting AI, artificial intelligence approach for Vinci construction in UK. They want to save a lot of hours of work because they will have 25 sites at a point in time. And they want to lay 360-degree cameras and lay the technology of artificial intelligence and monitor the construction process. So they don't want to go again and again, check the site, and maybe there are lots of other features that they can benefit. So obviously this is, I think it's also laying in the kind of a line of digital twins. So we are coming in a second to the interesting project I was talking about underwater, which is, I think, in a second. So I think it's for somewhere over here in the next articles. But before that, why don't we discuss a little about a Revit issues add-in? So I don't know if you noticed, this issues tool was available in BIM 360. Like Collaborate, like right now is BIM Collaborate Pro. BIM Collaborate was available for there, but now there's an add-in for Revit. You can actually bring all the information of BIM 360 issues inside Revit and resolve and update. I think we really missed that, and we needed something like that. So this is important aspect, so you can really see all the information directly inside Revit. You don't have to go all the time multi-cross platform. We are missing that kind of collaboration. We always tend to switch from that software to that software, that platform to that platform, and this is difficult because we are based on productivity. So if we switch constantly between different platforms, it's difficult to keep it up with the actual productivity. So we tend to forget what we were doing if we do too much. I mean, there's a theory that you can do multitasking, but there's a research that says that people cannot do multitasking. So you're switching one task and moving to another, just you're quicker. And some people are much, much quicker. So they're also coming up with new construction management software products. I took a look on them a little in the internet, seeing what kind of products they are doing. So I think they did a good solution by reducing the amount of BIM 360 products. Now they are reduced to BIM Collaborate, BIM Build, and Autodesk Takeoff, I think. And there's a Building Connect. So I think it's good that they reduce the amount of softwares and they integrate all the features within those software products. Okay, this is the project that I was talking. Very interesting. I mean, I don't know, maybe it doesn't sound so interesting to you. Hopefully it does. But imagine a park underwater, where it's like a park. You just go on the weekend or afternoons, you just swim and you just look around and so forth. It's protected. There are like a flower beds and all those stuff. So it is really difficult to construct. Can you imagine to construct this kind of stuff underwater, and how much precision you need? You need to leave the flower beds at a certain XYZ location, and then it just goes perfectly and sits on top of each other, the way you need to construct it and to make it efficient. So this will just be beyond the BIM as well. So you really need to think about how you can really make this kind of projects, and it is quite interesting when it's on the coast. All right. So next one is about Autodesk acquiring a company that is very much similar to this topic. They acquired Innovise, and this company is focusing on water infrastructure. Maybe not exactly water parks, but water infrastructure. And this is good because the more they acquire, the more they integrate their technology with specialized vendors, the better it is. They don't need to necessarily acquire. Maybe there's a strategic partnership or some other approaches, but they need to integrate and make their software much more powerful, but at the same time not so complicated, so easy to use. And you need large scale companies that can handle this kind of investment. And most of you know already, Enscape 3.0. Try it. Get a trial. Really do that, because Enscape before, it was just a kind of a viewer where you could do the functions in Revit, and you had to have two screens and viewer and so forth. But now it's like kind of a software on its own, where you just launch it and you have all the buttons and everything. So you can even have one screen in your laptop and have full screen and do all the functions. I mean, when it came out, I just tested it, and there are a few bugs going on. It is good that more of us testing it and reporting them. They're quite interested to know all these bugs and to get the feedback so they can fix them as soon as possible. This is good because vendors are really interested to fix those stuff. Not all of them though, but these guys are. So the more we use, the better it is, so we can resolve all these bugs faster. But if you look at the image here, you have all the buttons. I don't want to take time right now to go inside the software and show you all the stuff, but if you see over here, you have all the BIM tools, the video editor, exporting things. You have all the functionality of going around and exporting the views, and it's changing the view styles, the background and everything directly inside the viewer, inside the application. It's amazing. I think this was a very important change for them. They didn't actually change it slightly or few features. They changed the entire approach. This should be an example to the other vendors, because they listen what people get at a pain. Because when you have an idea, when you put all the functions on a software product, and you try to listen the industry, you try to listen the users, you try to see where the pain points are, and then try to accommodate the updates and the new releases based on those pain points. I think Enscape really did this, because a lot of people, even myself, was annoyed all the time to switching the windows and finding all these functions, and it was a little late for them to come up with this idea, but I think it is finally there. So we should definitely get a benefit of that. And I think it has an amazing BIM function, which I'm planning to make a video on that as well. And we need to, it's very easy to use. It's so easy. And I think I definitely suggest you to check it out, because it will give a lot of value to you and your team. So the next one I will go here is the virtual inspection and reduce. Okay, so it was about the virtual inspection. And this is about like capturing the data directly, all like, I think it's more about like laser scanning, but then all the inspections of the place, you don't have to go on site to inspect it. You can just run few or go on site and quickly run a machine and go in the office and make all the inspection necessary design, like design approaches or renovation or whatever, get all the bids for them, and obviously fix right away. And we will be done by saying Autodesk releases new cloud offering for the AEC industry. So this is exactly what I tried to explain you earlier on, where Autodesk changed the BIM 360 platform, we're branding it to 3 products only. And I think it was a very, very good decision, because it was very hard to explain the industry, all the BIM 360 products and what they do. This way it is, again, obviously we see still a few products here, but the less is more. So we need to have less products that are more functional and easy to use and easy to collaborate, so we can focus on them. Otherwise it becomes too much and too hard to agree, explain, and collaborate, which defeats the point of BIM. So this was the end of the last article. Thank you very much for coming. I will have your questions for the 5 to 10 minutes just to see if you have any questions, or I would like to get also feedback. If you have a few seconds just to tell me whether this was useful, what else to be added, what to be removed, what to be changed, because I'm planning to make few more episodes upcoming weeks. So I really need your feedback if you can. Even if it's not live, just comment below. So tell me exactly what kind of things you want to have in these episodes, or do you want another approach which can help you to concentrate and learn more. So this is mainly giving you a feeling where you can focus all on the BIM news in the industry. I tend to do it every week, so basically you will get a weekly news. Some of these news might be slightly older than a week, or a little older than a week, but in the upcoming weeks you will have a kind of a weekly or bi-weekly news. So the news that are just arriving in those days, which will be very good for you and the industry, where you can focus. Okay, I just watched this video for half an hour to 40 minutes, and I can get up to date with all the BIM information or AEC related news. So I receive thank you very much, thank you Revit Pure for supporting us, and I really appreciate your feedback. So is Autodesk Docs replacing BIM 360? Actually, BIM 360 like Autodesk BIM 360 Docs, there was like, it was called Autodesk BIM 360 Docs before. It's not really replacing the BIM 360. I think what they did, they had a lot of BIM 360 products, BIM 360 design, team, I think glue, they had field, and it was very confusing. So now I think they try to rebrand and simplify stuff. So BIM Collaborate focuses on content making and authoring and all this collaboration. And you can also bring documentation into it as well, a request for information, set information. There are a lot of things to do. But if you want just solid document management, I think you can just try to get a demo of the document management as well. This way you will not have the collaboration information and collaboration stuff. So I can actually share my screen again on that very quickly. And these obviously that there are 4 products now. So these 4 products you can see in the right away. And these 4 products are what I was explaining. I think assemble somewhat lays in between some of those products. So I think they have to even narrow these down further, but still now they're more specialized and it's easier to digest, which is what. So in the next one, still pretty complicated. Yeah, it is complicated. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much for everyone. So you don't have any other questions. I'm looking forward to seeing you in next episodes. We will have live BIM talks in next week. So next week there will be a live BIM talk. Sorry, my mistake. There will in 2 weeks time. There will be a live BIM talk 8th of April. My mistake. 8th of April, there will be live BIM talk, and 6th of April, there will be episode 2 of this BIM news. So we will collect the information for the next 2 weeks, all the news, and I would like to see you all there. So, and if you, in the next week, so we will try to collect as much information possible. And from that point onwards, every week, we'll have 1 to 2 live sessions. So don't forget to subscribe. Have a lovely day. Okay, I just say one more question. Should I learn a lot of BIM software, or should I focus on one BIM software? Thanks, very good job. Thank you very much, Stephen. Thank you for your kind message. Thank you, Idris. Thank you very much. So, Atidya, I saw that you said, should I learn a lot of BIM software, or should I focus on only one? It really depends. There's no one solution for all. So, one fit for all solution. It depends on what's your profession, where you're located, what do you want to do in your career, what kind of pain points your clients have. So, and then based on that, all 4 questions, and then what kind of technical skills or soft skills you have, based on those questions, you can answer that. So basically, you can stick to one software depending on scenario. Let's say you just want to do modeling on a particular software, and that's your technician, only on one software, and you don't want to learn the bigger picture. That's fine. And depending on your purpose. So if you, in my case, for example, I need to know all the software because I'm a BIM manager, a project manager. I need to know all the possible opportunities. So I fit the right tools for the right client whenever they need. So they don't stick with one vendor, but it's more about the solution base. What do they really need? What is the pain point? And I give them the right solution by choosing the right process, right technology, and navigating, guiding their people. So thank you very much for Gubaki. Thank you very much for your kind message. Hillary, thank you very much. Thank you. So have a lovely day.